Okay, well, I'm not really sure what the Minnesota Vikings are going to do, but it probably means that Cousins, Jefferson, or both are on their way out of Minnesota. Let's talk about it.
Hey, I thought it was all over.
Welcome to Row Coverage. I'm your host, Nick. We're going to get right into it. A thing that I've been speculating for at least a few weeks, ever since Rodgers went down 75 seconds into the Jets game, and that is Kirk Cousins going to remain a Minnesota Viking? Now, obviously, with their most recent loss and the escape of the Chargers, the magnifying glass on them, or the eye of Sauron, per se, on the Vikings is going to continue to heat up. I think that this is just the inevitable pendulum swing from last year where they won so many close games and now they're just not really putting it together, regardless of how well Cousins is playing. So being down 0-3 is something that you're basically not going to recover from. If you can somehow squeeze into the playoffs in a wild card by chance, you're not going to fare well. The teams that are going to be there are probably going to be 10 plus win teams, and you might be squeezing in with 9 just by chance. At this point, I think it's the Packers, Lions race. Bears are out. Vikings are out. So obviously they're going to look at what is next. So with that, there's been speculation that either Jefferson or Cousins is on the move. Now, personally, I think if they're going to trade Jefferson, you could do a bundle deal and essentially send Cousins and Jefferson to New York in exchange for like Garrett Wilson picks and all that other stuff, and then just give that over. Obviously, that's going to make the Jets considerably better Super Bowl favorites in the future, especially if they decide to keep Rodgers, because I think that they wouldn't continue Cousins' contract long term. They would obviously go with Rodgers. And then I think if Kirk gets to free agency, Kirk is going to re-sign with the Commanders. If you did not watch the quarterback series, you would hear from both him and his wife that they wanted to go back to the Washington area. So I think that is an inevitable thing that is going to happen. The other opportunity would be for the Jets to go out and get Stafford. But again, I think Cousins is on the trade block and will be traded before the deadline. I'd be very surprised if he finishes out the season. Again, I'm also not expecting a contract extension or anything too crazy with him. If they do, it'll be a 1 at most 2 year. But again, I would just let him go home. Rivera could use him because Sam Howell's not really him. Obviously, you'd like to trade to get a quarterback as well. I just don't see that being a possibility. I think Favre went to Minnesota too, so it would be kind of funny if they traded Cousins for Rodgers, but that would never happen. But it's just something to think about as Minnesota fans. Again, diehard Panther fan here. I think that you guys do need a quarterback. Kirk is not the long-term solution, but he's the right-now solution. Being down 0-3, though, is, again, a death knell, essentially. So do you just trade out of everything and prepare for next year? I mean, this might be the time. People are going to be looking for, top-tier receivers. There's even been a rumor that Devontae Adams might be on the move, too. So, I think you could get at least 2 first-round picks, probably 2 first-round picks, and probably 2 second-round picks for Justin Jefferson at least. It might be something crazy, even like a Gobert trade. But I think that he would fetch a bundle. And if you can get it from a team like the Bears and get the Carolina pick and then get their pick this year and send them up there over the Bears, obviously that would be in division. It'd be a whole crazy thing. But I mean, you guys could essentially draft Caleb Wilson to the Vikings next year, because I'm willing to bet either the Bears or the Panthers are going to have the #1 pick. So just think about that. Again, in division, I don't think it's going to happen, but it would be pretty awesome considering they just did the Hawkinson trade and all that in division. So just something to think about. But yeah, I don't know what Minnesota's going to do. I do love the acquisition of Akers, though. I'll give them that. Akers, Madison, I think, is very serviceable. I'd probably get a third one in there just to be safe. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for what you guys are going to do next year. Because like I said, I would punt on this year. Same thing with me. I'm a Panthers fan. We're down 0-3. I'm punting on this year. I want Bryce Young to learn. I want him to heal up from the ankle injury he's got. I want our other players to heal, get some experience, because next year is when I want us to make a serious playoff push. I think that's where Vikings are now. That's where they are. I'd like to see them, maybe contend down the road, but you're really going to need a more franchise quarterback, and I can't see that coming available anytime soon without like a crazy trade. Like you guys go trade for like Deshaun Watson, Kyler Murray, Mac Jones, like one of those. I think Kirk Cousins for Mac Jones would be a worthwhile trade because Mac Jones is so young. Kirk Cousins would do well in the New England system. I think overall that'd be great. But yeah, you guys have a lot of opportunities. I just don't know where to go with it. Again, I'm a fan of really investing in the defensive line or investing in high end picks to then use those high end picks to go get defensive linemen, or whoever you need, corners, whatever. But I just don't know what they're going to do. Obviously, it's going to be a shock regardless. I think Cousins, like I said, he will be traded before the deadline. It's just to where. So I wouldn't mind your thoughts down below in the comments. If you want to hit us up on Twitter, it's Roll Coverage Pod on Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, we're going to start putting out more of these videos, getting you guys more involved. So if you guys want to come on, just hit us up. It is Nicholas at rollcoverage.com. I'll make sure to put a little thing out there for you guys. But yeah, excited to keep doing these, and excited for the Minnesota Vikings. Again, really want to see what their team composition is when they finish the year. Probably not going to be with Cousins, might not even be with Jefferson, but if the Vikings give Jefferson the bag, that bag is probably going to be like almost 30 or 35 million a year. So that's going to hinder your cap in the future. So, and then obviously Jordan Addison, just in case you know, before I go, Jordan Addison was my dude that I picked up in fantasy. I got him, Nico Collins, and Jalen Hyatt in all 50 of my fantasy leagues because I just believe in those three receivers. So, yeah. Minnesota, you're on the verge of having a Miami-like offense. You're just missing the quarterback, maybe a few other like little pieces, but for the most part, that's what your offense could become. So just think about that. With that, I am Nick with Roll Coverage. Hopefully, you have a good rest of the day. We will see you soon.